So lately, I've been, I don't want to say scatterbrained, but my focus tends to go like this. I wake up. What time is it? Where do I have to be? Sonia, I asleep. What do I need to do? Sonia, I asleep. What do I need to do? Where are her clothes? Where are my clothes? It pretty much bounces back and forth. Me, Sonia, me, Sonia. Food, money. Sonia, me, Sonia. Food, money, work, leisure. Like it just bounces. And then when I'm doing whatever task, let's say, for example, I'm at a choir rehearsal, music studio, dance fitness, jump roping for double dutch, whatever the case is. I'm there at the event, and then it's like, what's she doing? Okay, at the event, what's she doing? Back and forth, back and forth. So I get it when people are like, that's what you think about. Now, when I'm away from her and she's always with or in a trusted environment or with someone that I trust, and I can pretty much focus, say like 98% on what I'm doing. And the other two is about, is she okay? Especially if I left her in a state of, oh, she was crying or she doesn't feel good, that kind of thing. If she definitely doesn't feel good and she's crying hysterically, then typically I'll shut down what I'm doing to make sure she's fine. But if she's like crying and I'm leaving her at daycare, I know they got her. But most times, I'll be able to take on. So I prefaced all of that to just kind of start this episode with, I have two people that I know that are going to be stepping into motherhood very shortly. And by shortly, I mean within the next month. A month seems like a long time, but when you talk about a whole span of 9 months, you're at the tail end of your journey. So I'm thinking about them now and how life once was and how life will now forever change for them. And not that it's terrible or that it's bad or anything like that, but it's just one of the most defining, pivotal moments of your life. And then you think it'll go back, or you think it'll be the same, or I can still, and yes, you still can. It won't be the same, but you just have to figure out how to not necessarily get it back to the way that it was, because it won't, because you literally have created, you know how we hold space, like space and time. You've created a new entity that will hold space and time. They held space and time within you, and you literally felt that, embodied that. And now they are out of you, holding space and time, but you have to nurture that until they are able to, well, really for the rest of their lives, but until they're able to hold that space and time on their own. That space and time is linked to your space and time. It's when you think about physics, science, and the universe and all that stuff, it's pretty cool scientifically. So I think I'm just reflecting on how, because currently it is 11/18, October 13th, and I am in bed with my daughter, and she is laying like with me, holding space and time with me, you know. And yes, she can be in her crib, but this is her preference until she's pretty much like, okay, she can sleep on her own. And she can, but she likes to start here. And I'm wondering, as our relationship continues to grow and evolve and develop, how will this change? Be the same as we continue through space and time? What will it be like when she's 2, when she's 3, 4, 5, 10, 16? Because I know, things change, and she's already starting to show personality, attitude, defiance, as far as wanting her way. And it can be interesting to watch. Some of it's comical, and then some of it's like, okay, how, once this is magnified, and when she understands what she's doing, how will this show up? And how am I going to respond to it? Right? I just lost my train of thought that quick. Shoot. I don't know how I'm going to respond to it, but as I continue to learn and grow about myself, as I continue to learn and grow and discover myself, or discover about myself, I will take all of that and try to make sure that I, one, am emulating how I would want someone to model, the appropriate behavior. But also still, she is her own person. And within her level of capacity, I will continue to show her what emotional intelligence is so that she can properly express herself respectfully and still be able to hopefully get what, she needs in life. I understand that everyone goes through some sort of trauma, and trauma can be small to some, large to others, but it's still trauma to you, whatever that is. Hers, I have a few things in mind of what hers may be, and I'm trying to prepare myself, but when it happens, it happens. And all that you can do in life, I realize, is when trauma hits, you can just make sure that you're surrounded around people that will help you process and get through and continue to move forward in life and not implode or explode. That's really the best thing that you can do, because as long as you're alive, I think it's going to be inevitable for you to experience. So here's an example. Some people that are homebodies, right? For example, like my sister, she had recently got into an accident like within the last, like literally yesterday. So whatever, when you're listening to this, just think about, dang, the day before, and she's okay. Everybody's okay. But it was just like no one wakes up to plan like or think this is going to happen to me. And when it does, it reroutes everything that you even had in mind, or not only for that day, but just for the trajectory of your life and what you planned. Because now you have to reset, let's say, your finances, your day, whatever it is. And so for her now, that is, accidents, oh, they come and go. But for her, still, no matter what it is, it's a traumatic moment, right? I'll give you an example from myself, a little transparency or vulnerability. I have about 3 people that I know in my life that are not speaking to me. And that's a traumatic experience, because I'm asking myself, oh my gosh, am I the villain in their story now? Right? In their movie? What happened? What did I do? And I would love for it to be explained to me. One, I'm very clear on why this girl isn't speaking to me. The other 2 individuals, I'm not really sure, and I don't have a full understanding. And what sucks about it is some people just move. They just move forward. They move forward from you. They move on with their lives, and they don't have to answer to you. And you can't do anything about it. And you have to come to terms. I don't know if you come to have closure, but you just come to terms. At least that's what I'm saying. I come to terms and accept the reality of what is at this current state in time. Because as we know, like when we started the episode, space and time is a continuum and it changes because that's in the direction that we're going. We're always going in a direction of, I guess, like forward movement through time as far as aging and space, as far as holding space, right? The people that are no longer with us, they held space and time. Their time stopped. And their space, even though it's not like with us, around us, their space is, whether they're cremated in ashes in an urn or if they're in a cemetery, they're holding space somewhere, and physically like where they are. And forgive me, and I'm trying to be sensitive to those who, let's say, bodies haven't been recovered, like that kind of thing. Not trying to, but anyway. So going back to traumatic moments, I'm always trying to think ahead and trying to be proactive as to how I can be the best for my daughter when certain topics arise. And we'll see, when we get there. And I want to express to her that it doesn't mean that she's loved any less. There are plenty of people that love her and support her. I also don't want to, input any sense of rejection. And I feel like that's my trauma of wanting to feel validated because of a rejection. And typically when we enter into this world, there are things that are broken. Even if you have, let's say, a 2-parent household, every scenario isn't perfect. Because this is a broken world, right? So at some point in time, we're going to experience, like I said, some level of trauma and brokenness. And the goal or the point is through fellowship, community, Jesus Christ, whatever your faith is, or your belief in a higher being outside of yourself. The point is using all those tools to come together to find fulfillment and satisfaction in life as we hold space and time.